So it's good to have you guys here today. Today's July 11th. Sometimes I have to look back at the board just to keep up with the days. I have so much going on. One of the things about a business is some of us don't have business credit. Some of us don't have the revenue. We don't have the assets. And EDM is a structure that's designed to help you, regardless of having credit, regardless of having the income or the assets. You have the structure through what it is that we're putting together as a program. Okay, in this part of the class, I want to talk about team efforts. You know, I'm big when it comes down to team efforts. I believe in multiplying yourself and multiplying your efforts by working with other people, creating that team. You know, some people call it a Mastermind Alliance. I call it a Mastermind Alliance. You really have to work with other people to be able to get where you're trying to go, especially with the conditions that we're in. A lot of people think that they can just pull themselves up from the very bottom, and they can. But it takes people in the right position in your life to be able to make that happen. You're not about to do that by yourself. So you might as well start thinking about a team from the day one. It could be your spouse, someone that you're working with. It could be a significant other. It could be a brother or sister or someone who's not a relative. But you have to start building your team, and I would recommend that you start to do that right off the bat, at the very beginning. And here's the reason why. Let's say that you're struggling, you're making $15,000 a year. Well, if someone is going in the same direction as you, trying to accomplish the same things as you, and you team up or you partner up and you actually create a partnership, and this person is also making $10,000 or $15,000 a year, if you're both making $15,000 a year, that's $30,000 that you have access to. When you were by yourself, you only had access to $15,000. So when you partner, you increase your revenue, yet you increase a lot of other things that are going on as well. But a lot of times, by increasing your revenue or increasing your efforts by multiplying with the people around you or by working with the people around you, you start to get somewhere faster and faster than you ever could by yourself. So if you let's think about it in this term, what if you connected with another person? You put 3 people in that group that have $15,000 a year. That's $45,000 that this business is generating. That starts to catch the eye or the attention of an individual a lot more, or investors, a lot more than 15,000 would. And so if you got 4 of you, it just continues to multiply. And what it allows you to also do, you start to look at your bigger picture and say, well, how now can we keep this revenue or increase this revenue and decrease our debt as a unit? How can we do that? You might not have been able to do that alone, but teamed up with other people, you're able to do that. So multiply your efforts by building a team. Do transactions if you can in group efforts, because sometimes there are transactions that can take place when you multiply your resources and you say, look, okay, I only have 15 or 20% of this, but this is a $500,000 deal that I couldn't acquire by myself. You know, when you look at major projects, major construction projects, or major commercial buildings that are being put into place, there's money coming in from all sorts of places that come together to make one project take place. Not everybody's walking into a situation where they have 100% ownership, but they have some ownership in something they wouldn't have had they not come together. Team effort can't be emphasized enough. But one of the greatest coaches in football, I think Nick Saban, he said follow the process. And what we're setting up right now is a process. And one of the processes that we have is our social network that we're putting together, and that we've had actually organized before that, but that we're restructuring, because in social networking, how many of you are on Facebook regular enough? Every now and then. Okay. How many of you, right? Every hand went up. And even Raheem shows up on Facebook every now and then. Right. How many of you are making money off of Facebook? How many of you positioned yourself to be able to make money off of Facebook? Good. Some hands went up. Some hands haven't. Now, Economic Development Ministry, I have over here, you won't be able to see it, Detsy, you won't be able to see it. Well, you can. I'm going to take you with me, Joseph, but Detsy can't see. We have a page over here, and it's called Economic Development Ministry. That page, for those who are members, we want them to use that page to market their product. It's okay. That's one of the benefits of being an EDM member, is that you get to use our page to market your product. And right now, we have a limited amount of people that are participating on our page. We have almost 500 people, 489 people that like our page. If you're an EDM member and you have not liked our page, please go and like our page. If you are an EDM member, since we're talking about social media, and you're participating today, which means you can hear me, go ahead and check in to Economic Development Ministry. Things like that. What that does, believe it or not, when we get check-ins and we get things like that go on, people actually ask me about economic development ministry, and I kind of guide them to our page. I kind of guide them to our YouTube, which I want to bring up right now. When I use YouTube doing a college session, I use it to research homework, and I look for videos that are like 3 to 5 minutes that are on any specific topic that I might be studying in my courses. So I might be in a certain area of my textbook and I want to understand something a little bit better. I don't have an instructor, I don't have anybody I can call, and I YouTube it. Well, we have a YouTube channel here, and it's called EDM. We went with EDM because we were having problems with economic development ministry. Now on EDM we have 2 videos right now. How many of you have seen our videos? Jonathan, Charmin, Detsy, Bad Joseph. Oh, you seen it, Joseph? Okay, Joseph. Tony has it. Raheem has it. Come on, Raheem. Yeah, Raheem. Come on, Raheem. We got to get you on top of this. So, if you get the opportunity, go to our YouTube page, subscribe to the EDM, and watch a video or 2, and just see what it is that we're talking about. And now this is how this is going to help you. The more people we have subscribed to our YouTube page, if you put a video for your product together, we'll put it on our YouTube page. That gives you the opportunity to be able to market yourselves through EDM. We'll also post it on our Facebook page, and then we'll post it regularly throughout the week. We'll put it in our EDM messages. We'll make sure that we use our vehicle to be able to market your product. So whatever product that you have, if you're an EDM member, you can use our pages in order to be able to build your subscription. So that means the more people we have subscribed, the more people we have going through our service, the more action that you have to be able to get your product or service out there. Use your resources. Wall Street Journal. You have use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a business site that allows you to connect with people who are doing what it is that you're doing. And even Facebook. It's a lot of play on Facebook, but if you just really just take out the time to pay attention and listen more than post memes or irrelevant information that's not really going to service you or build your business. If you take time to listen, you'll find that there's a client base sitting right there on Facebook. You just have to figure out how to tap into it and how not to market to it directly, but indirectly, and just capitalize on that. There's a lot of resources in the sense of social media. Texting is a great way to be able to communicate with individuals. You have, like I said, Facebook, you have LinkedIn, you have Twitter, you have blogs, you have YouTube. You can use these avenues, and also every avenue that I just mentioned you can use to build your business, but you can also use to understand and learn how to build your business. Any question you've got, go right there on YouTube. I always recommend that people subscribe to the Wall Street Journal. I do. I share the Wall Street Journals, and I'm going to continue to, because the Wall Street Journal is like a barometer. It lets you know what's going on, but it's also like a crystal ball. It lets you know what's going on, what has the chance of going on down the road. You just have to get familiar with the language and with how the markets move. I'm going to go to some of the analytics. In our analytics on our YouTube page, it shows us how many people have, how many views we have, how many estimated minutes people have watched our video, and how much money we've made. So far, we've made no money. We just launched our videos about a week ago, or a week and a half ago. My son did the first one, and then he did the second one a few days after that. The thing about YouTube, we make money when people go to and watch the videos, and we make money when people eventually click on the ads that are on the videos. So that's how money is made on YouTube. Stay consistent. I always talk about consistency because it's easy to get excited about information, about business, about growing your wealth, and etc. But it's hard to stay active on that struggle. There are so many people, they come in and they move as hard as they can in the very beginning, and then they kind of peter out at the end, or they just kind of lose focus at the very, very end. And then they're off doing what it is that they were doing before. Habits can be formed by staying or close to people who are doing what it is that you want to do. And look for people that are involved in your field, but look for people that are also not involved in your field that are like auxiliary. For instance, if you're into real estate, look for somebody that's in mortgage, or look for somebody that's in the car industry, because believe it or not, they're associated with what it is that you do. You want to connect with EDM members, because some EDM members, like in my case, how many people that do you have that you're associated with on Facebook, on LinkedIn? Anybody have more than 100? No? Oh, goodness gracious. I think I got close to 1,000 people that I'm connected with And they're always, matter of fact, I posted the video, the EDM video 2 nights ago on LinkedIn, and I got 33 views just because of LinkedIn. I get more views when I post things on LinkedIn than I ever do on Facebook, because Facebook is more about play, so you have to be a lot more subtle. LinkedIn, you can be a little bit more aggressive, and you have more serious people on LinkedIn. So when I posted something on LinkedIn over a night, I posted it like at midnight, I woke up and I had 33 views of the video. So use LinkedIn for what it's worth. It's a business tool that allows you to be able to grow your business, and most of the work we've already done. I have 1,000 contacts, and I'm always getting messages from individuals who are asking about EDM or wanting to participate in one way or another, and I use that as a resource to be able to build the business. So my wife's talked about this. She said, turn your struggle into strength. Every difficulty that's involved when it comes down to growing your wealth, use that as an opportunity to make something else happen, or to make it happen for you. Use every single thing that takes place as an opportunity to be able to achieve your personal goal when it comes down to achieving financial independence in business. So I want to open up with a joke. I should have did this earlier. And okay, this is a joke about a little boy. He wanted to be the greatest baseball hitter that there ever was. So he lifted up the ball and he swung at it. When he threw it, he swung at it and he missed. He said, that's okay, because it's all about having a positive attitude. Gotta have a positive attitude. So he threw it up again, he's by himself, and he swung as hard as he could and he missed again. And he said, that's what he said. He says, you gotta have a positive attitude. So this is the 3rd time he says, it's all about a positive attitude. And he threw the ball up and he swung as hard as he could, and he believed with all his might, and he missed again. Okay? So he picked up the ball, he wiped the sweat from his head, and he looked at it, and he says, what do you know? I'm the greatest pitcher in the entire world. So it's all about reinterpreting your experience and keeping a positive attitude about what it is that you're going through. And that's hard to do when you're trying to make money and you're coming from zero. But it's a lot. Let me share something with you, because throughout the week, I talk to a few people that are associated with EDM, and when I talk to them, my day gets a little bit more easier, because I know that, because of the energy that they give me. We're all on the same path, we're all trying to make the same thing happen, and they remind me about staying the course, being patient, continuing to do what I'm doing, and follow the process. When you have a process, and it's a winning process, all you got to do is stick to it. So when I look at myself right here, I got a folder. And in this folder, when I was researching defaults in Spring Valley yesterday, I came across 78 people that are defaulted in their home in one way or another. How's you doing today, Devon?
All right.
78 people in the Spring Valley area are experiencing enough distress to where they stop paying their mortgage. Now, for us, that is a business opportunity. Because if these individuals are going to follow through and lose their property, it gives us an opportunity to be able to acquire that property. So this afternoon, when me and my son leave, we're going to go check out about a dozen properties. Now, on top of checking out about a dozen properties, I put together letters for these people. And I read this letter, I showed this an example of this letter in the class last week. And it basically says, hello, it gives their name. My name is Donald Atchison, and I founded an investment program that purchases homes with students called Economic Development Ministry. If you are interested in selling your home, we would love to discuss buying. I don't say nothing about knowing that they're behind on their mortgage. We also manage upgrades or repairs on real estate and can provide services. I give my contact information, Facebook information, YouTube information, and then I say take care and I sign my name. Now I put this in an envelope that's small, not one of an envelope that's regular size, because, and I handwrite the address. And my address, their address, and it looks different. It doesn't look like spam mail, so the chance of them reading it becomes a little bit greater. The only thing that's official is it's basically on a letterhead, and it's typed. And then I sign it. But what happens if I stay the course? What happens if I continue to send these letters out and I follow the process and I close on one piece of real estate every year? What happens over a period of 10 years of when you close on real estate in California that's worth $300,000? That's $3 million. No, it doesn't seem like a lot. Matter of fact, as you're going through each and every day, it seems ridiculous to be putting that kind of time into defaults. But my last half a dozen properties or so that I ever purchased in my entire life were defaults. And I did it during a time that defaults were popular, but still my last 6 or so properties were defaults, and half the properties I've ever owned in my life were defaults. Why we chose real estate as a vehicle, I've said it once and I'll say it again, because when you look around, every aspect of our financial or economic lives is surrounded with some type of thing that we would call real estate. You know, the vehicle that you're driving in, the actual car or truck that you drive in, that was created at some plant somewhere. That plant is nothing but real estate. That manufacturing plant is real estate. If you go home to an apartment you do not own, that's real estate. If you're in a music studio creating beats or whatever it is, you're in some studio, at some building, in some place, even if it's a park, that's real estate. You cannot get away from real estate, and so we've chosen to use real estate as our economic vehicle that's going to lead us to what we call financial independence. And I want to thank you for participating with us at Economic Development Ministry. Stay strong and don't stop and stay connected. Going to the next thing here. So what do you got to do? You got to sign up on LinkedIn. You have to find an EDM member on LinkedIn and you have to associate yourself with that member. You got to go to YouTube, watch one of our videos, subscribe to our channel, which is EDM. What is it, son? Is it EDM Incorporated?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's EDM, capital E, capital D, capital M, period, Incorporated. And you'll find our videos right there. Now we're talking about your business vehicle today. We have several business vehicles. We have C corporations, S corporations, LLCs, partnerships, and we also have what they call proprietorships. What's the purpose of a proprietorship? What does that mean? What is a proprietorship? A proprietorship is an individual business. It's just a person, one person. A partnership is two or more persons that come together, and it's either official or non-official. It's either filed or not. Then you have a limited liability corporation. You have an S corporation, C corporation, nonprofit, religious. You have all these different entities that you can ride in. One of the entities I want you guys to get used to riding in, whether you have your own entity or not, is using the resources of EDM. What I want to do and what I'm working towards is being able to loan money towards your business through EDM. Now, we just finished loaning money through First Investors to a person who bought a home in Florida, and we just issued that check on Monday. And but what I want to do is have more resource in order to be able to deal with the members here, because some members here are really running businesses. And so my goal is to bring it back home and have the resource for individuals here, whether they're looking for their first home, I want to be able to loan that money to them. Whether they're looking to expand their business, I want to have the resource to be able to loan that to them. She's lovely. Okay, all right. So, did anybody check in for Facebook? If you didn't, and you can check in. Okay, Debsy's hands went up. She's a participator. Take a few minutes. Link with somebody on LinkedIn that's in EDM. Connect with one another. If you can, once a week, if you can, just say something in our EDM page. Just say like, screw you if you want to. You can say that. I'll accept that. That's an acceptable thing. Okay. I want to reiterate the loan folder. You guys have to follow through when it comes down to the things that you need when it comes down to your loan folder. If you had an interview or if you haven't had an interview, it's regardless of that. Now, specifically those who want to be able to post stuff through our pages, you have to be a member. I say that again. You have to be a member, an active member, and we're not charging our active members anything for that. Now, Joseph, you see this folder right here? I'm going to mail this to you like I mailed Debsy's. She never got her folder. But yes, this is yours. We're going to mail this off to you today. This is Joseph. This means Joseph's an official member of EDM. Give him a hand, you guys. Well, hey, Joseph, hey, welcome to aboard. You know we're going to give you a hazing, right? You know what that is? Okay. Now, let me see. We also have Debsy, and we clap for you again, but we'll clap one more time. Debsy is also an official member of EDM. Here's another folder, Debsy. Stop eating them. Stop eating them. Okay. I don't know what she did with the last one. You know how much money it costs to mail that folder? You got to reimburse me. It was like a Starbucks. Okay. You know how important and valuable Starbucks is to me? I'm a consumer. What? Okay. Speaking of consumer, I want to kill the consumer. Now I want you to think about this when I talk about the consumer. There's a parable in the Bible about an individuals, three guys, and they were given talents. Now we can look at the word talents and we can take it as meaning monetary value, or actual internal, intrinsic value. So let's look at it from a monetary perspective, because the Bible is explicit. I love that book because of the things and the lessons that it gives us. It's explicit about a man who gave 10 talents, 5 talents, and 1 talent. Or was it 5, 3, and 1?
No, it's 10, 5, and 1.
10, 5, and 1. Okay, so this man gives away these talents, which is this money. And he leaves, and he comes back. Now this is what this cat says. I won't say what he says yet, but I'll say we're going to get there. This is what this cat says. He goes to the guy with 10, and the guy with 10, he multiplied his talents. He turned it into 20 talents. That was a wonderful thing. He turned 10 talents into 20 talents. He called him a faithful servant. The guy with 5 turned it into 10. He called him a faithful servant. Now the other servant was a little bit like some people who have 9-to-5s. A 9-to-5 job, you could look at a person who's got a 9-to-5, even if he goes up with as far as promotions, and if he goes up as far as income, they give him a 5%, 3% increase. You can look at that individual, and 10 years later, he's still in the same amount of debt, maybe more, or it's the same amount of net income that he was when he was making $30,000 a year. Okay, she's dolled up today. Isn't she so pretty? This is my daughter. Her name is Dondi Faith Atchison, and she has a bad attitude.